Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, August the 16th. The time right now is 12:44 in the afternoon. Overnight, we have the release of U.S. retail sales number, which came in slightly better than expected. Market was expecting a 0.4% increase. It came in 0.7, so that was good. But on the other hand, report says that market participants are beginning to worry that because retail sales remains very robust, it may reignite inflation one more time. So that was something that people are thinking about. But what really did the market in yesterday was Fitch Rating Agency, the same agency that downgraded U.S. rating from AAA to AA plus last night, came out and said that they are watching the banks and they may downgrade the banks, including the big boys, JPMorgan Chase, and that is the one that caused equity prices to actually backpedal. We can see in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the micro E-mini Dow Jones futures, we can see that the prices actually traded below the 35,000 levels, although it did pop back up above 35,000 as we are speaking right now in electronic trading. So generally, I do expect prices to continue to drift. We are very, very close to my initial target, somewhere between 34,710 to 34,890 levels. So let's see whether this level can hold. And if the market breaks below 34,400, something big is happening. So do watch out. For the time being, I'm classifying this as a corrective rebound, corrective pullback. But if the price do go below 34,400, it is no longer a simple corrective pullback. Okay, so do watch out for developments going forward. And in the micro E-mini S&P 500 futures, we see that the S&P basically is a little bit weaker than the Dow Jones. We can see the prices actually traded and has really hit my target of 4,460 and a half, and the prices does not seem to want to stop. The low traded last night was 4,447 even, and if we do get a bounce, I think the bounce is going to be quite limited. I do expect the market to actually drift lower to my target here, my initial target of 4,411 here. Let's see whether it can actually hold. And also in the micro E-mini Nasdaq 100 futures, we do get a bounce here, but the bounce here was actually very, very shallow, falling short of my target. High traded was 15,335 even, and then it falls back. But the prices have a good chance here to actually do one more rally attempt, because basically the Nasdaq itself has already hit my target, which is this pivot point here at 15,063. 0.5. So if we do get a bounce, I suspect that somewhere between 15,362 to 15,469 it will be capped before the market comes back down to my alternate target at 14,853 and a half. So do watch out for a bounce followed by another extension of this pullback from 16,000. So this is my outlook for US equity markets. Over in Asia, we can see the Hang Seng index futures is still registering losses. This morning we have a low at 18,275, which make it a double bottom here, and this could actually be a level in which it could find some kind of support. But overall, the market does appear to be weak, and if there's going to be any rebound, it is a chance to actually reposition for shorts going forward. And yesterday we have the release of China industrial production numbers, which is terrible. And of course, retail sales was actually a bombshell. It came in low, missed the estimate by 50%. So you can see this is how weak the Chinese economy is. Now, this on top of the various numbers that have been released over the last couple of weeks, and we can see the Chinese economy is definitely on the rope. And yesterday we have a surprise, unexpected rate cut by the People's Bank of China, which is their central banks. And of course, this is seen to be an effort to stimulate the economy, but in my opinion, that could be a little too late. Okay, so overall, I do expect further losses in the Chinese equity markets, so do watch out for that as well. Now, in Japan, we have actually the exact opposite. Japan economy seems to be doing very well on the back of a very competitive price Japanese yen. We can see its Q2 GDP numbers has actually been very, very robust. So this is actually underpinning the Japanese equity markets. But on the back of this good news, we can see that the Nikkei is not benefiting. In fact, the Nikkei has fallen back again to 31,750 this morning. And if you have good news and the market cannot bounce, it's telling us the sentiment is pretty bad. So going forward, if the this on the back of this very robust GDP numbers, the Japanese equities cannot bounce, that means it's trouble ahead. And if this is the case, I do expect the market to drift lower to 30,700 to 31,240 levels over time. Okay, and over in the currency market, we can see dollar remains very well bid, and the dollar index is still very high above 103. So you can see prices had a high of 103.33, which that technically speaking, this is technically a double top here. So there is some kind of resistance going on here, and although the price does looks elevated from now, I do expect we can see a minor pullback, ideally the 102.30 to 102.50 levels, and if these levels can hold, it may be a base for the market to actually propel even higher. I do have a target here at 103.84, so let's see whether this is going to be the case. And over in the euro versus the dollar, we can see the dollar, the euro is basically pretty weak. We have a bit of a bounce overnight, but the bounce was tapered out at 109.50, and the market pulled back down. I suspect it's going to try it again later today, and if we're going to get another rebound, I think it's going to be capped around 109.10 to 109.90 levels before the market unravel below 108.75. And sterling is basically the same thing as what we see in the dollar versus euro versus the dollar. We see a bit of a bounce, and last night we have a high at 127.52, and I do expect another attempt to go higher, but I think this pivot higher at 128.20 is going to be a cap to higher prices. And Aussie has already get very close to my target. Okay, the low this morning was 0.6430. My target is just about 0.64, so we're getting very close. Do not chase this market ever lower. In fact, if you are already short, try to look for levels to exit this market, because I expect to see a bounce back to 0.66 very soon. And over the dollar yen, the dollar yen is going to be teasing us, because the market has actually try to see if there's going to be any kind of intervention as a result of dollar yen trading above 145. Apparently nothing happened, so I think the traders are getting emboldened to take the dollar yen higher. This last night we have a high 145.85, and it is looking to be another move higher, but I'm telling you, this is going to be very hairy, because the Bank of Japan or even the Ministry of Finance in Japan is definitely watching the exchange rate like a hawk. Any further rise in dollar yen rate, especially into 146 to 148, is going to be dangerously high, and the market could come under very serious intervention, in which the dollar yen rate may actually fall very fast. So do watch out for the risk of taking the dollar yen ever higher. If you are already long, you want to get out soon, and if you are short, do not short at this current level just yet. Wait for the sign to come in. Once you see a surprise drop in dollar yen rate, you can be sure that it is possibly the Bank of Japan coming in to intervene. Okay, now in dollar Canadian, we can see the dollar Canadian being very well bid. In fact, it took out the most recent higher at 135 02. We have a marginal high of 135.10 this morning, and is likely to take the market even higher to test the April high of 136.70. So this is the dollar remaining very well bid, something very different from before August of this month. Okay, and over in crude oil, you can see crude oil prices also remains high, but although yesterday we see a bit of a pullback, and for the first time since the beginning of the rising channel, the market actually break the support, and this could be important information. The high traded is $84.89. The low traded was $80.40. So for time being, I do expect the price to actually drift a bit lower. The nearest support area is probably going to be around $78.70 to $79.90. So if this level can hold, it may actually hold the market for a further rise in prices. But if the market do dip, which I like to see, then anything between $74 to $76 is actually a buying range, and I will be a buyer if the market ever go to those levels. Okay, and in the precious metal, we can see that gold this morning registered a marginal low below 1900 for the first time this month, and $1,895.90 was the low this morning. Now this market has already hit my target here. It is just under the $1,900 level. I do expect a bit of a bounce to occur anytime soon, but I think eventually it's going to come back down to this level, and maybe even break it over the near to medium term. Okay, silver also saw losses last night to as low as $22.23 before we see a bounce here. Similar to gold, I do expect a near-term bounce in the price in silver before the market come back down again to test this level at $22.20. Okay, And in Bitcoin managed to come off again. And this morning we saw a low at 29,275 thereabout, and prices is basically holding on to dear life right now. There could be another attempt to take the market down lower to see if there's going to be any support near the 28,700 levels. And if this level do not break, I think the market do have the still have the prospect of challenging the 81,900 levels. So do watch out for that development here. This is all I have for you for today, and tomorrow I'll come back with another update. Thank you. Bye bye.